Elliot's fire truck. Elliot Moose jumped aboard his bright red fire truck. "Fire Chief Elliot to the rescue!" he yelled. He cranked up the siren, strapped on his helmet, and with a mighty push he rolled into the hall. Today Elliot was a firefighter, and he felt courageous. Socks was digging through her costume box when Elliot rounded the corner. She tossed him an old raincoat. "Who are we going to rescue today?" she asked. "I'm saving you," replied Elliot. "No, you're not," said Socks. "I want to be a firefighter. We can rescue someone." Elliot thought for a moment. "Let's rescue Paisley," he said. So they dragged the truck upstairs and sped off to find their friend Paisley. Elliot and Socks spotted Paisley in the library. They skidded to the top in front of the big desk. "Look, a 4-alarm fire," shouted Socks. "We'll save you, Paisley," yelled Elliot. But before they can unwind the hose, Paisley peeked over the edge of the desk. "Firefighters!" he cried. "Oh boy, can I be a firefighter too?" Elliot pushed his helmet back. "Socks and I were going to rescue you," he said to Paisley. But Paisley was already climbing down from the desk. "There's been an explosion at Big Red," he cried. "We need to rescue Amy." An explosion at Big Red?" gasped Socks. "Let's go," said Elliot. Paisley hopped onto the fire truck, and they sped off to find their friend Amy. With 3 firefighters on board, the truck went much faster. At Big Red, they screeched to a halt. Elliot set up the ladder, Socks unwound the hose, and Paisley grabbed the first aid kit. "What a terrible explosion!" shouted Paisley. "Look at those flames!" yelled Socks. "Don't worry, Amy, we'll get you down," called Elliot. Amy peeped out from under the bed and grinned. "Are we being firefighters today?" she asked. Then she leaped aboard the bright red fire truck. Elliot groaned. "We can't all be firefighters," he sighed. "One of us has to be rescued." Amy smiled sheepishly. Everyone agreed to rescue the friend they met, no matter what. With 4 firefighters on board, they had to hold on tight. They were about to push off when Snowy and Puff scrambled up and asked to be firefighters too. "We have enough firefighters," Socks told the cubs. "Besides, you're too little," said Amy gently. "Wouldn't you like to be rescued?" asked Elliot. "We could get you out of the tree or pull you from a fire." The cubs hung their heads. "We want to ride on the truck," said Snowy. "Yeah," grumbled Puff. Elliot promised to give Snowy and Puff a ride on the truck if they agreed to be rescued first. He felt a little sorry as they trudged off to their den. But then he heard them call, "Help! Fire! Save us!" Elliot cranked up the siren. At last they had a rescue. With 4 firefighters pushing the truck, it hurtled down the hall. "Hurry!" cried Socks. The cubs sound far away. They circled the landing twice and zoomed off. "Woohoo!" yelled Elliot. The truck careened wildly. "We're going too fast!" shouted Paisley, and before Elliot could slow down, they crashed into the banister and flew right between the rails. Elliot gripped the last run of the ladder. Socks clutched the fire hose. Paisley and Amy grabbed onto Socks. They dangled in the air. "Help!" cried Socks. "Help!" cried Paisley. "Someone save us!" squeaked Amy. Elliot hung on tight. Elliot looked down. It was a long way to the floor. Who would come to their rescue? "We'll save you!" cried the cubs. Elliot swallowed. How could 2 cubs help 4 big firefighters? Snowy and Puff gathered pillows from all over the house and piled them onto the floor beneath their friends. "Hurry!" begged Elliot. The heap of pillows grew bigger. "I'm slipping!" cried Socks. The cubs stretched a blanket over the pillows and held on. "Let's go!" they yelled up to Elliot. Elliot didn't feel courageous anymore. He was afraid to let go, but his paws began to slip, and whoa, plop, he landed in the middle of the blanket. One by one, Paisley, Amy, and Socks dropped safely onto the blanket too. Everyone gathered around the cubs. "Thank you," said Elliot. Snowy and Puff stood up straight. "See, we aren't too little," said Snowy. Yeah, see, said Puff. Elliot plonked his helmet on Snowy's head and gave his jacket to Puff. Hooray for Fire Chief Snowy and Commander Puff, he said with a grin. Then everyone raced back upstairs to the fire truck. And this time, Elliot was the first to call for help.